Get ready because we have another pattern drop coming your way. This is for what we're going to call the Essentials Wrap. And we decided to call it this because, yes, the idea of it was born out of using it for makeup brushes. However, it can be useful for so many different things. All right, first of all, you guys have heard me talk about Noelle. She is one of my best friend's daughters, and she has become the absolute magician behind Born to Create lately. Please excuse Tallow. He is on supervisor duty. A little background on Noelle is that she is a website developer, and she is also the person that inspired me to start sewing. She's been telling me for over a year, you need to learn to sew and you need to learn how to do pattern. I can help you with that. I finally started sewing in January, and when those videos started taking off and my tutorials were doing so well, Noelle said, it's time to rebrand you. I'm going to rebuild your website and we're going to develop some patterns together. So that's how it started, and this is actually one of Noelle's design, and we're going to make it here together right now. And this is going to be available on my website during my next drop, which will be August 29th. First of all, if you buy a pattern, you're going to get a zip file emailed to you. It will be accessible right away. You open up that zip file and you're going to have two files that say instructions. One of them is printer friendly in case you want to print the instructions out, but you don't have to. And the other one is just the regular instructions. They just look a little bit prettier because they have color to them. And then you'll also get the printable pattern. So I printed out everything because I like to have everything in front of me. And here I am just taping my pattern pieces together with the help of Tallow. So I like to tape them first and then cut them out. These patterns are really easy to put together because they have these little targets on the corners and everything is labeled very clearly, and there's even a guide in the instructions on how to put them together. So here are all my little pieces that I just cut out. And just so you know, if you don't want to print the pattern out and cut it, it does provide the dimensions just for you to be able to make your cuts directly on the fabric. There's also a copy shop friendly version that you can send to your local copy shop and have it printed out for you. So literally we offer any which way you want to go about it. Okay, let's get to cutting our fabric already. First, let me get Rue out of the way. He is being bad. A lot of people are going to want to comment, why don't you use a rotary tool? That's one of those round blades that you can roll across the fabric and cut it. I do have one and I do use it sometimes, but sometimes my wrist hurts because I have arthritis, so scissors just works better for me. So here are all the pieces laid out. We've got the back panel and the outer fabric cut out. And then we've got a flap, two straps, and then the brush pocket. And you'll notice they have lines on everything to show you all of your stitch lines and everything like that. It also tells you that you need liner fabric and fusible fleece, so I went ahead and cut those two pieces out too. For this pattern specifically, you only need one little piece of the fusible fleece, and that goes on your main panel. So I went ahead and ironed that on. Next, we're gonna work on our flap. So we're gonna line our outer fabric and our inner fabric together and then sew around 3 of the edges, leaving the top open. We're gonna snip our corners just so they fold out nicely. I use a little tool to poke my corners out with. Just be gentle so you don't poke through your corners. And then we're gonna go through and top stitch those same lines. Again, we're leaving the top open because we're gonna close that up later in the process. Next, we're gonna take our liner fabric, lay the flap on top of it, and then sew that down. Next, we're gonna prep our pocket. We're gonna do a 1/4 inch double fold and sew that down just to create a nice hemline. And then we're gonna lay that across our flap and our liner fabric just across the bottom. Then we're going to sew those loose edges up, leaving the top open so that we can make our little brush pockets. Now you can measure your own brushes during this part and just make your mark. I wanted to stick to the true pattern for this video, so I used the marks that came on the pattern that I already cut out, and so I'm just marking those right now. And then I'm going to go through with a straight edge and make sure I make really straight lines. You're going to want to skip this step, but please don't, because your lines will get crooked. Trust me, I've tried it. I used a water soluble marker. That's that blue ink that you see on my fabric, and that goes away once you add a little bit of water to it. So after the project, I just took a damp cloth and wiped it off. Okay, here's what we're looking like. That's the back side, so you can see all of the lines we made for the brushes. And since we hemmed that beforehand, we have a really nice finish. Now let's prep the straps. There are 2 of these and they're super easy to do. So you're just gonna fold them in half and sew down the open edge at a 1/8 inch or a 1/4 inch. And then you'll wanna flip those inside out. Make sure you poke out your corner nicely and then press those flat. And you don't have to use an iron. You can just flatten them with your hands if you want. On your back panel piece, you'll see a little hash mark where it's a notch, and you're gonna wanna place your straps right below that notch and sew it down. Next, you're gonna put your outer fabric face up, and then the back panel that already has the flap and the pockets on it face down. Clip everything together all the way around, and then you're going to want to sew all the way around the side of it and leave about a 4 inch gap so that you can flip it right side out. We are getting so close, guys. I'm so excited. Carefully pull everything through and flatten it out the best that you can. Use a tool to poke out your corners just so everything lays flat. Now you're going to want to just top stitch both sides down. And make sure you go over your straps just to secure them in there a little bit better. On the other side, you're also going to be clipping and sewing down that opening that you had created before where you turn the bag inside out. And since it's right side out, you're going to want to sew that back closed. And you guys, we are done. Here are some of my makeup brushes I'm putting in here. This is really good for paint brushes, especially like watercolor, so you can make your little pockets a lot smaller. If you're an artist, you can put your pencils or markers in here. It's great for school supplies. And we created the taller version, which I'll make a video of eventually. That would be perfect for like knitting needles and stuff like that, crochet hooks, even some of your makeup items for the shorter one, like mascaras and stuff like that, is perfect for travel. And it's completely washable too. Let us know what you think. I hope you guys love this as much as I do. I cannot wait to make more. I hope to have some available in my next drop. Okay, bye.